Hey, it's Max Anderson here on my COVID-19 survival tips series, several interviews that I've been conducting over the last couple of weeks to just help other folks get through this pandemic, reaching out to some folks of course, in the real estate world that I'm in. But with real estate also comes being fiscally or financial responsibility, fiscal responsibility, I guess that's where I was going. And one of my fellow women in business members here, Amber Pietrangelo, is joining me today, and she is a financial advisor and counselor. And perhaps you can clarify the correct title there with Abundance Financial. And thank you, Amber, for speaking with me today. Let's talk a little bit about the financial crisis that we might feel that we're in, and maybe talk to that point right now that we are indeed in a crisis, but we don't have to be paralyzed, correct?
Yes, absolutely. No, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned the whole financial advisor. So I am a financial coach, which is different from an advisor. We actually kind of work on different aspects of finance. So advisors are very much about helping you build wealth and protect that wealth through investing and insurance and those types of things. I actually, as a coach, focus on more of the day-to-day management of finances, of having a plan for your money and really making sure that it's working the best way it can for you day to day, so you can maximize how much you can invest and do those types of things. And I really do also specialize in sort of this crisis mode. So I have a history of pregnancy loss that really derailed some of my finances for a while. And, when I kind of got back on track, I realized that I wanted to help other people do the same thing. So, when you're in crisis mode, mindset plays a huge, huge part in how you're managing your money, what you're doing with your money. And a lot of times we can kind of sabotage ourselves without even realizing we're doing it, because it's just the mindset that we're in. So it's really helpful to kind of be aware of some of those things. I definitely, numbing with your money is a big thing when you're in crisis mode. It's something that I did a lot. It can, manifest in Amazon spending or maybe eating out a lot. And it's right now it's hard to balance that with, trying to manage your money well and also try and help support the businesses you can while they're open. So, there were definitely a few things that I wanted to point out to people that they can do, to help with their specific situation. And really now is a great time for people to really get creative. Like, it can seem, like the world is falling apart, but it can really open up some great opportunities for people to do something different than they would have before. And so, generally when you're looking at your finances, there's two major avenues you can go down with improving your financial situation. One is reducing expenses, which I think a lot of people default to. When you're in a crisis mode, it's like, I need to cut this, cut that. There are things that maybe are luxuries. And then there's also other things. One thing I wanted to point out for people that may not be aware of, that's a really great thing right now, is a lot of people are driving a lot less if they're not commuting, if they're not going into work. And some insurance companies are automatically giving a discount on premiums. Some may not automatically do that. So you may want to reach out to your car insurance and see, can I get a discount? I'm driving a lot less. That's a good expense reduction. And there's lots of little things like that. It's worth it to kind of run down your list of expenses, go through your bank statements and see what you can afford to cut or draw back on. But the other side of it, the other side of the two-prong approach, is actually increasing income. And that might sound a little impossible right now, but it's really not. If you get kind of creative, this is your chance to innovate and get creative and pursue something that you might not have before. That you can look for side hustles, you can look for things that you can do from home. A lot of people are getting a crash course in this virtual interaction world, doing these Zoom meetings, which is really great. And it's actually how I meet with all my clients. That's how I base my business, is virtual, because it just gives you that ease. You can meet with anybody anywhere. And so there are side hustles. There's things like virtual assistants that do, that type of work. If you're creative, there's things like Etsy where you can create and sell items. I think a lot of people are making and selling masks right now. That's kind of been, a booming thing. Some people do it, just to help their community, and others have been able to make some money selling them. You can, if you're good at social media, Facebook, you can do some social media management, make some posts for some businesses to help them break into the virtual world if they haven't yet, and try and, create that. And then, if you are able to kind of go out and do work, there are places, things like Shipped, that do the grocery delivery and pickup, that can be super, super helpful there, with bringing in some extra income. So I think those can be some really helpful things for people right now who are, trying to just get into a better financial situation.
I like all those ideas. Those are really, things that people can think down, sit down and think about how they can adapt to if they're not getting income, or if they've went down to a one income family. Those are ways to really be creative. I like all of those ideas that you shared. So if someone meets with you, typically you meet, I think you shared with me, you're more on a family or a personal financial coaching situation. Give me a couple of tips for a business owner. I know it were like some of those tips that you were just talking about. We know a lot of local businesses who are really struggling right now. And as a financial coach, what would you say to them as far as getting creative to keep that revenue stream coming in? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like for me, my business was kind of established in the virtual world, but if it's something that people haven't pursued yet, like if it's something, and I know I have seen with the realtor world, I have been amazed with some of the things you guys have done with like video tours of homes and things like that. Like that is so wonderful. Like you don't have to be in person necessarily to maybe see products or see, what you've got going on, and connect with people in the virtual space like that. Another option that some businesses are already doing is offering gift cards or gift certificates. In the meantime, that people, they can still sell some gift certificates, bring some of that money in right now when they really need it, and then be able to keep things going later on down the road. People can use those gift certificates later on when things start opening back up again. And really, like, this is just a great chance to innovate. For a lot of people think about restaurants doing takeout or pickup, but even a lot of shops can do the same thing. In the same way that you can give a virtual tour of a home, you can give a virtual tour of a shop, and maybe you can find a way to either sell and ship online, or even do, some curbside pickup drop off for local
Yeah. Well,
stores.
I know here, the Downtown Association here in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, last Thursday had the virtual shopping. It was so exciting. And it was definitely a first time for some of those shop owners to get live in front of a video camera and share their wares and sell them. And they did a phenomenal job, and were very successful. And then again, now there'll be another group of the Downtown Association going this Thursday to do the same thing. So kudos to them. And Lindsay Ellis, who I know she's kind of a spearhead of all things social media in downtown. So bravo to her, because we're saving businesses, we're saving them by supporting
Yes.
them. So, and commerce has to happen. I mean, I think you would agree as a financial coach that we spend money to make money. In some cases, taking online classes to level up your expertise, so that when the curtain lifts, you can go full force into a different level of the industry that you're in. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think when it comes to not only businesses, with getting certified, educated, but even on, a personal level, I almost kind of view my coaching as that. It's a short-term investment to get an education, to improve yourself, and to, do something better or faster than you would be able to do it on your own. So like I mentioned, like you might be good at social media and be able to do like a virtual assistant to someone by helping them with their advertising and their social media posts. That goes hand in hand with these businesses who maybe that's not their strong suit and they need help with it. And by them collaborating right now during this crisis, it is, generating more business, and it's helping, the business world expand. We don't have to all be shrinking right now. We can be doing things that are, growing us and moving us in a good direction.
Yeah, definitely a pivot. Another thought that I had for you is there's a lot of parents now doing at-home schooling. Now, isn't this a great opportunity to educate our children on finances? Not necessarily personal for the family, because I know there's a difference between you're the parent and the household, but you could have them working on some of these ideas of cutting down costs, like what it costs. Look at the Cloverland electric bill and see how much it costs and how we can, reduce the use
Yes.
of electricity in the house. Agree?
Yes. It's fun. It's so much fun with kids, yeah, to make it into a game. And it really is, you're not going to sit down with your kids and go through your budget line by line, but there's a lot of fun things you can do to teach them, and if you do an allowance, there's a really great way to teach them to earn that allowance and teach them how money works. Money just doesn't grow on trees. You have to earn it, and then you have to spend it wisely. And, so it's great to take that and yeah, when it comes to utilities and things, to remind them that, make it a game. Like, how can we get outside instead of sitting in front of the TV, because the TV uses electricity? And, just kind of making those connections for them, just making them aware of, money plays a part in every aspect of our lives. And, the more they're aware of that, the better chance they'll have to make good decisions when it comes to the time that they're managing their own finances.
There can be a fear around finances for a lot of people. It's just a head in the sand kind of approach, which is really not the best approach.
Mhm.
Just, take what you have and, you know, break it down, get a coach like yourself
Yeah.
to help you through it. I mean, we get coaches for so many reasons. Personal training, of course, comes to mind, and
Yeah.
coaches for all kinds of different things. Why not have someone like you, Amber, that can help coach the financial side of our lives? And I think that you do some great things. So before we wrap it up, what I really would like you to do is give some really good action takeaways that our folks who watch this interview can, when it's over, say, let's do this. What can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. So really the best thing you can do to start out is just get some clarity on what's going on with your money. So to sit down and look at your bank statements, at your credit card statements, and get a really good idea of what is actually going on. Where is our money going? You might even notice some recurring subscriptions that you forgot are coming out of your account, or, it can just really be eye-opening just to sit down and go line by line and look at everything that cleared your bank account in the last month. And there are different tools that can be really helpful with that. I really like Mint for kind of logging in and automatically doing that and kind of categorizing things. It makes it easy to kind of break it down and look at what's going on. So really that's always, and that's where I start with my clients too. Like the best thing you can do is just to get a clear look and see what's going on. And then from there, you can start to
I want
strategize.
to interject, because where I found a few, 3.99 here, 3.99 there, you know where that's at? In the app store. And if you don't remember your password, you just don't go back. And then next thing you know, all these apps that uh, go every month, annually or monthly.
Mhm.
Man,
I know.
yes,
Yeah.
for that.
They're tricky. They get in there and, and a lot of times we hope to take advantage of them, but you kind of, at this point, you have to be honest. Am I really using it? Am I not?
Right. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
that was a good one. And then another thing that you were talking about is the mindset of the paralysis of not wanting to do anything. So that's why we're talking about action plans. So go to the
Yes.
app store, and clean that out. And you had another thing that you wanted to talk about before I abruptly cut you off, but that affected me, so I wanted to share that because the
Yeah.
app
No, I
store.
was just, yeah, no, I was just going to mention again like the car insurance.
Oh,
So yeah, that's a great thing. Look at those insurance premiums and see what you can change. And like even, utilities, there are places, I know most places, there's also, I feel like when you can't pay or you're having difficulty, there's a lot of shame around that. And I feel like a lot of people, through no fault of their own, are now out of work, and it feels shameful to them to be seeking assistance or looking for help. And the reality is that those programs are out there to help us, and those policies that maybe our utility companies have to assist us are there for times just like this. And there is no shame in calling someone and saying, I need to work with you because I'm laid off right now, because we're down to one income. There's no shame in that. And I think that's a super important thing for people to hear and know, that it's okay to need help right now, and to know that down the road when you're doing better, you can pay it forward and be able to spread that around later on.
Yeah, we're definitely in a mindset of struggle, perhaps, with,
Mhm.
like you said, if you're laid off or one of your spouses are laid off. And the other thing, and I know we're right about at the end of our time frame, but is people are still in need of donations, financial contributions. We've got different organizations. I know, you were just a recipient, from the 100 Women Who Heart for
Yes.
100 Women of Heart for your very wonderful organization, United Way. What do you say about our gifting? Do you think that still should be a priority? Because it does, let's talk about the mental part. It feels good to be able to contribute, maybe not as much, but to still contribute. Thoughts on that?
Sure. I think there are probably a number of people out there who are still working, still have income coming in, got maybe their stimulus money and that's extra for them. And they're, not necessarily in this emergency crisis mode. And if you feel able and capable and willing to donate and give, I've heard of a lot of people donating stimulus money because they don't feel that they need it and that others could use it more. And I think that is wonderful. I think if you have the ability and the desire to be generous, I think being generous is a wonderful, beautiful part of finances and of having a good control on what you have going on financially is being able to give.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, because I do think that to be a well-rounded, financially healthy person, there's all of those aspects need to be part of it. And I agree with
Yes.
everything that you've said today. So if people want to reach out to you perhaps and talk to you about coaching, do you have a website, a Facebook page?
Yes, I have both. So my website is abundance-financial.com. And my Facebook is Abundance Financial Coaching. I also have a Facebook group that I like to share a lot of helpful information that people might like. It is called Better Money Management. And you can find access to that on my Facebook page.
Okay. Of course, I will put the links in our interview conversation below to share that with folks. And you definitely are a member of the Women in Business group. So for those ladies live in our area, we'll probably be doing again a virtual Women in Business meetup. The first Thursday of every month. So we'll look forward to seeing you there, Amber, of course.
Yes.
And for those folks who want to reach out to Amber, please click on the link below. And just as the much time as you're spending working on your fitness routine, your financial fitness, I think a coach is absolutely something that during this time we're at home, you know let's take advantage of the time and do good things for ourselves. Yeah.
Yes, I
All right,
agree.
any final comments or words, my dear, or are you?
I just thank you for this chance to connect and share and to just, be part of our group and our network. And I'm just so glad to see everybody trying so hard to reach out and not be isolated during this time.
Yes, each of us need all of us, and that's how we all get connected, is virtually now, but we'll all be back
Yeah.
together again soon.
Yes.
so, so give that little sweet baby a kiss, and I know, being a new mommy and doing all this. Yeah, if anyone's watching this and you're in that boat of motherhood and all of that, you can definitely relate to that very personally right now. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is hard and beautiful and fun and crazy all at once. I love it.
Yeah. Welcome to life. Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to life, right? All right. Thank you again, Amber. And I look forward to seeing you next week at the Women in Business meeting. And until then, your information was very valuable today. Thank you.
Thank you.